I would execute that, because most cash buyers only need another week. A week they can get money in escrow.
Hey guys, how's it going? Ian Flanagan
Counter
here.
the 14 business days?
I'm in the back of a room at a real estate conference we are hosting.
I said, well, I understand, but I would hate to lose the deal.
Hey, likewise, how's it going?
You have to keep making the payments all because we were off by 2 days.
Silver Home Deals, how's it going?
And it's really not an argument, I'm just telling them the truth, you know?
So if you guys haven't ever seen Zack Childress live, it's quite a treat.
It's your job to help them overcome their objections. And the best way to help someone overcome their objections...
Minky Love, how's it going?
Objection is to explain it to them. Because the reason people say no to things is because they don't understand. Yeah, and that's exactly right. It's in their benefit. And you say, look, the only reason I'm going to execute this is because, let's say I'm ready to close and I need a few more days to get it done, then I need you to work with me so that, you know, I'm not out of this and you're now sitting with a vacant house again. But listen, if 14 business days is too much for you, then I'll do 10. Because I really only need what? And then if they go, well, 10, then I'll say, well, listen.
Hey guys, thanks for joining. This is Ian Flanagan here, live in Phoenix, Arizona, at a real estate conference. And Zack Childress is in front of the room teaching contracts right now.
Yep. Jerry, let's
guys,
go.
Share the scope with your friends, your followers on Twitter and Facebook. You guys have any questions, type those in.
No. You mean in a contract where it just says 14 days?
Hey, Young Juice 007. I like that handle, that's great.
Weekends too. If you do not put business or working days, it will every day. Yeah. So, earnest money. Here's another one we put in all of our contracts. All earnest money deposits will be returned to the buyer for any reason this transaction does not close. Right?
Talking about contingencies in contracts.
It doesn't matter. If I pin down that number, then I've left myself in a pigeonhole. I leave it wide open. It's returned. Because here's why. When this goes into contract and it goes to a title, is title a neutral party?
We're in Phoenix.
Yes. And then all I do is get from title is what's called
We're in Phoenix, Arizona right now, live.
Yeah. Oh, you don't give it to them. No, they'll go buy bubble gum or something. I would never give the seller money. Never, ever, 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 ever give the seller money.
No, we're at a hotel conference room close to the airport.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be, absolutely, write that on there. In our inspection contingency, buyer reserves the rights to inspect property, or contingent on buyer inspecting property, or contingent on buyer or entity. Let's say it's in your entity name. Then you might write contingent on the managing member of entity inspecting property. Okay? If you're in an entity. So if it's in an entity, you could say something like contingent on managing member of the LLC to inspect property. Or you could just leave it wide open and say contingent on inspecting property. You know, I mean, you could do it any way you want as long as you put that in there. Yes. Where's Jackie? Your appointment's up, really? So, yes. Well, I don't put earnest money in unless they make me. Well, here's what, most sellers aren't educated enough to make you put earnest money up, okay? Here's the thing, at the end of the day, when you guys are worrying about earnest money, it's because you're dealing with an agent. The agent's the one that's going to press you and press you and press you and press you and press you, because why? The agent knows what? That contract's null and void until what? There's monetary exchange to secure the offer, right? So they know that. They're not in a deal until you put money in escrow. So the point being said, with sellers, private sellers, I very rarely even put money into an earnest money deposit because they're just not educated enough to push the fact. I put it in the contract. And then when the wholesaler, or when I find if I'm wholesaling it, and the buyer comes in and says, yeah, I want that, I let them know, okay, well look, you got to get $500 in escrow on this. So you got to go put that in there. As a buyer buying from a seller, I won't do it until at the very end if I'm going to stay in the deal. If I'm going to stay in the deal, then I'll go put the money in escrow because now I know I'm in the deal. So, all right?
Don't you want consideration?
I do. Well, my thing is this. I'm not going to just go throw money in escrow until I know I want the deal. Because when they accept the offer, I'm not sure I want the deal yet, right? I'm just getting it under contract just to lock it up. And then I might spend the next 4 or 5 days deciding whether I'm going to stay in or not, or wholesale it. And at the end, if I don't want to do anything with it, I just say, look, I'm out. And then I didn't have any money held up. So, yes.
You want to say, on the inspection, you need to say, you want to do the inspection within a certain number of time, days, 24, 48 hours?
Yeah, most time a contingency is like 14 days. Yeah, most contingencies are 14 days. Some banks only do 7. I know some that are doing 10, but most of them are 14. I mean, look, when you're dealing with a homeowner, I put my contingency period at 30 days, and I put my close at 30 days. So I've got 30 days to tell them I want in or out, you know? So, I mean, it's so, listen, dealing with private sellers is so much easier when it comes to contract control. So.
I can see them, in some cases, stalling and not even giving you access to the house. Could it be another reason to put an extension on?
I've never had that issue. I mean, if they're living in it, you have to schedule with them, but I mean, very few I've actually done when they're actually still living in it. Because you got to remember, I target a lot of vacants, out-of-state owners. You know, I target a lot of properties that are in distress anyways. Expired listings, people who've already vacated the property most times. So very rarely, I can't say I've ever had that problem where somebody wouldn't let me see in the house. Yeah, I can't say I ever have. I've had a tenant give us a little bit of a hard time, but the landlord had already submitted notice to come look at it. The tenant kind of gave us a hard time, but I mean, we just unlocked the door and went in.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Ian Flanagan over and out.